Tonight, KNUST Vice Chancellor left out of the new interim governing council after government dissolved the schools council and installed a new one in the wake of violent protest by students.
Interim management council will give further directives as to what happens to the vice chancellor.
So the council will determine whether he keeps his job or whether he gets removed?
Yeah, that will come from the interim management council.
Well, we interrogate government decision as it sets itself a 14-day period to reopen the university.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Bond, CIMG Savings and Loans Company of the Year, GASM, the Nation Builder, Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready, and Nationwide Medical Health Insurance, Best Health Insurance Company of the Year at the 2018 Ghana Insurance Awards, and its CEO awarded Woman of Excellence at the Ghana Insurance Awards. A new interim governing council for the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has just been sworn in and is set to begin work to reopen the university and resolve the conflict that led to student rioting on campus. But the serving Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Kwesi Ebiri-Danso, will play absolutely no role on the new council. He has been frozen out. In fact, the Education Ministry has told Joy News tonight that a new interim council will have the power to decide the fate of the Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor has been blamed by both students and some state institutions, like the National Youth Authority, for the violence. Yesterday, a group of students called for his removal. We'll hear more about the fate of the VC shortly. But first, Joseph Opoku-Gapo joins me with details of a government statement on a new governing council. First, who are the members of this new council?
There are 7 of them. Nana Ifa Apenteng is supposed to be the chair of the council. The rest are Professor Mrs. Akosua Dixon, Dr. Edward Bafuboni, Madam Hilda Hegampedu, Professor Joshua Ayakwa, Mrs. Abina Entry, and Mr. Kevin Sa. Those are the 7 members.
I see, and we know that they are going to have a 3-month tenure, but what are the terms of reference?
And so there are 3 specific, in fact 4 of them that they've been asked to look at. In the statement makes the point that within a 3-month tenure, they are to assume the powers of the governing council. 1, they are to establish the causes of the recent student riots on campus. They are to establish the full extent and cost of damage caused, and they are expected to resolve the differences between the university management and also the student body. And it goes on to say the president has also directed that steps be taken to reopen the university within 4 days. But even before those details,
you mean 14 days?
Within 14 days. Within 14 days. But then there's some background in the statement that was issued, and this is a statement from the Public Relations Unit. It says that in response to the circumstances and underlying issues that led to the subsequent closing down of the KNUST, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, whilst condemning in no uncertain terms the violence that took place, has directed that in the best interest of the university, steps be taken by the Education Minister to dissolve the governing council, and that this actually followed briefs and recommendations which had been received on the KNUST campus. And following that directive by the President, is in pursuance of that the Ministry of Education has announced that the governing council has been dissolved and this new team has actually been put in place.
And you talk about this new team. This new team has one significant absentee, one significant omission. I don't know what is mission, but a name that is conspicuously missing in that list is the serving Vice Chancellor, who is not part of the list as we have it, but the list has a representative from the student body there. but hasn't got the Vice Chancellor in it. The Vice Chancellor was part of the previous governing council, by the way, which has now been dissolved. Just been joined on the telephone line right now by the national president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG. Prof, thank you very much for your time here on Top Story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Before I come to you, I want us to listen to the Deputy Education Minister explaining government decision and what will happen to the Vice Chancellor, who happens to be a member of your association. This is Dr. Duchum speaking to my colleague Kojo Yankson.
The President, the Minister, everyone condemns in no uncertain terms the vandalism that took place at the institution. And after listening to all stakeholders, the Minister, of course, supported, directed by the President, approves of the fact that there's a need for a new interim management committee that has a 3-month mandate and is also charged with reopening the school within 14 days.
Right, Dr. Educhum, if what government wants to do is to have a dispassionate look at what happened, why not simply set up a committee to do that? Why dissolve the council?
You see, when you want the school to open, you do everything to make sure the school opens. The academic integrity and the standing of the university among other universities in the world is so important that you don't have that opportunity of waiting. We have foreign students who are stranded at the university. If you set up a committee, then what happens? What does the committee do? Now we have a committee that is doing the work of investigating what happened, and the center have the authority to run the school, so that the standing of tech is not dented in the eyes of the academia in the world, and also for people to understand that the academic success of the institution is so dear to the hearts of many. This is our only science, technology, engineering, mathematics focused institution, a premier one as such. And the government is determined to leave no stone unturned to ensure that normalcy comes back to our great KNUST.
So this is a vote of no confidence in the existing council that has just been dissolved.
That may be your conclusion, but
I'm asking for your conclusion, government's conclusion.
Want to bring normalcy to KNUST, and that's exactly what the government has done.
Right. So after this period, this interim period, what happens next?
Interim period, what happens is what the interim management council will do. What we want to ensure is that the government has given them a 3-month mandate to make sure tech come back to normal. And after that, or during that period, determination will be made as to the progress of their work.
Right, so after 3 months, the committee will decide what happens next.
Oh, of course, the minister, the committee will, of course, give updates after they talk to all stakeholders and report back and say this is what is going on.
Now, traditionally, universities in Ghana are autonomous bodies or semi-autonomous bodies. They make decisions for themselves. With the government instituting a committee here to manage the affairs of KNUST.
I mean, when you talk about autonomy, what we forget is that a number of the council members are appointed by the President of the Republic. So the chairman is appointed by the President of the Republic. So autonomy within the space that you have the freedom to teach and students have the freedom to learn. And the government, as you know, provides the funding for the institutions. So the autonomy that we talk about is that the government will not interfere in the day-to-day running of the institution for very good reason, so that we can really and truly ensure that academic integrity is maintained and professors can teach what their syllabus said they should teach, and there will be no interference whatsoever. That is the autonomy that we're talking about. No university has an autonomy to mismanage itself.
Okay.
Nobody.
So that is the determination of government that KNUST was mismanaging itself?
I'm saying that you don't get autonomy to mismanage. You don't get autonomy to create chaos.
So regarding KNUST... You
have autonomy to learn, but you don't have autonomy to go on rampage and destroy properties of the state. You don't have that autonomy. So the autonomy that we talk about, autonomy within law and order.
Right.
Autonomy within an environment where you cannot destroy school property. You can't go on rampage and say, I don't like somebody, so I'm destroying school property because I have the autonomy to do so.
Okay.
In the same way, security guards shouldn't say, this is a university, we have autonomy to run it, so we're going to bully students. No, that should not be happening.
Right.
That is not the kind of autonomy the government grants to universities.
Okay. Dr. Ejuchum, what happens to the Vice-Chancellor?
The Interim Management Council will give further directives as to what happens to the council, the Vice-Chancellor.
Right, so the council will determine whether he keeps his job or whether he gets removed?
Yeah, that will come from the Interim Management Council.
And Dr. Ejuchum, there is the Deputy Education Minister. On the line with me right now is Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah, who is the National President of the University Teachers Association. The Vice Chancellor is a member of that association. Dr. Eric Opoku, your reaction to what you just heard?
Yeah, thank you. I think that this is the most disappointing action taken by government with respect to what is happening on Kenya University campus. We are appalled. We are surprised at what is happening. Look, if government decides that you're going to set up an interim management committee, government decides to put the SRC president there, forgets about other major stakeholders, and forgets about the vice chancellor himself. This is surprising. We saw this coming, and we know what government wants to do with respect to the future of the vice chancellor.
What does government want to do?
The comments that were given by individuals that were associated with government all lend credence to what is happening. Now, instead of going to attack the vice chancellor direct, you set up a committee. The committee should be there. Look, even in Ghana, in the history of Ghanaian secondary schools, when students have gone on demonstration to destroy school property, a committee is not set up to operate and run the secondary school. Students are suspended. Management is giving the free hand, even the headmaster, without even a strong management team. By the nature of the way our secondary schools are run, are given a hand. And at the end of the day, investigations are conducted, the right things are being done. How does government say that the whole council, which has been established by law, everybody should go and that set them aside and bring different people to come and manage?
Well, the law allows the government to do what it just did.
Come again?
The law allows the government, the president, to do what just happened.
If the government means well, then the government will have used the reps that government has appointed to carry out whatever they want to do with the same council. We are surprised about this development, and UTAG is not going to take kindly to this. We think what is happening is unfair to the vice chancellor. As students that we teach, you put a student who themselves are complicit in what is happening on Kenya University campus on the council to investigate who, and you put the chief executive aside, and you say that they should investigate at the end of 3 months, they should make a determination as to the future of the vice chancellor. We think this is unfair, and government has virtually spat in the face of lecturers in this country. And I think that lecturers as major stakeholders in what happens to any university have been taken for granted. If everybody is going to bend backwards and do everything to favor the students, then we lecturers are going to advise ourselves. Maybe I think that we should be getting ready to get politicians to come and teach in our public universities, period. Because I do not think that it is fair to even dream of setting up a committee, setting the council aside, and you put an SRC president who is a student, for God's sake, to be on the council with no representation.
No, but why you almost sound as if the SRC president is not qualified, or it's almost sounding condescending that the SRC president, for God's sake, is on the committee. I mean, he's as qualified and a major stakeholder and must be on the committee, on the council.
The SRC president is qualified, but is he more qualified than UTAG? Is he more qualified than a rep of management? I'm surprised about this.
Let me ask you for clarity. You on the list that was put out, there's no rep from the teaching body, the management on it.
No, I think that you can call the deputy minister to confirm this. I'm surprised that, for example, in a secondary school, students get themselves in a demonstration, destroy property. A committee that is set to investigate, the student leader is on it, and the teachers who teach the very students are not represented. What kind of system are we running in this country? We are going to make a determination. We're going to have a national emergency meeting tomorrow. And I think that we'll put our statement out there.
But you've heard and we've seen that the Vice Chancellor, you're fighting for the Vice Chancellor. Understandably, he's a member of your association. But he, as has been suggested by many, including the National Youth Authority, was to blame for this. I mean, students were being brutalized under his watch. Some even suggest under his direct leadership and others. Why should he have an opportunity to be on a committee that has been tasked to resolve the impasse? I mean, how can you make progress when the man who is accused of supervising the brutality himself is part of the council that is tasked with resolving the conflict in the first place?
Evans, I think that we started this conversation long ago, and I've explained it time and again. The point is that what has happened on KNUST campus, the student cannot be absolved of blame. I am worried about that kind of argument that everything the students are being seen as victims and that everything is on management. That is wrong. That is not absolutely what happened. And I think that we should have waited. The council was going to meet on Friday, and I was expecting that we should wait and hear what happened. Instead of quickly dissolving the council and setting a new interim body in place, and asking that the Vice Chancellor, the SRC president should be on that council. I think that this is unfair to lecturers in this country. And I think that we are having too many examples. I don't know what is going to happen. But I think that after our emergency meeting, we will certainly come out.
You haven't said it directly, but you said you almost...
The students could be absolved of blame. And that everything that happened, no matter what was happening, I have taught on university university, and so are my colleagues. And there is no report case of any university where students just walk by, then security men jump on them and start beating them. Even you went to the university. I don't know why we are assuming that whatever mistakes that may have been done. Yes, we may agree to some extent that the students are not complicit in the issue. They are just walking about, carrying their duties as students, and security men will jump and be beating them. And that's with all that has happened on KNUST campus, with the destruction of property, taxpayers' money. The students are not complicit in the issue, and that's an interim body which has been set to investigate the issue and show leadership in the university should be composed, and the student leader who called for the demonstration will have a representation on that committee, and the teachers will not be represented. What kind of system is this?
You almost seem to suggest that this interim council is a smokescreen to remove the Vice Chancellor.
That is what we are anticipating. And we are not going to mince words about that. That is exactly what we anticipated. And I'm saying that what is happening has been given force by the series of statements that have been made on social media platforms, which we talked about, and on radio discussions. UTAG are major stakeholders in education in universities in Ghana, and we are not going to sit down to allow this thing to happen.
What are you going to do about it?
Should get ready to come and teach.
What are you going to do about it if you don't want to sit down for this to happen?
We are going to meet and we'll come out tomorrow. I think that nobody in our university, nobody in this country should bend backwards to sacrifice students because of populism. This is unfair to lecturers in this country. We are major stakeholders. Our children, our nieces, our nephews are involved. And we are more care, we also care about what is happening. But with this decision by government, I am disappointed, and so are my members. And we are certainly not going to take kindly to this one.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That is Dr. Eric Opoku-Mensah. He is the national president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana. Let's speak quickly with the Katanga Alumni Coordinating Team member, Nana J. Blackie. He's a member of the alumni. They've been at the forefront of representing the students in all of this back and forth with management of the KNUST. Thank you very much, sir, for your time here on Top Story. Your reaction to the decision of government to dissolve the council?
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
Hi, Nana J. Blackie. Yes. So your quick reaction to the decision government has taken to dissolve the council?
Let me say good evening to your listeners. I think on behalf of the alumni of KNUST, even before we say there are so many questions raised about how things have been done now and so far, we remain focused on what we have pursued right from the very beginning. That is our issues with our halls having been made mixed. I mean, that is adding ladies to the gentlemen there. I'm not even sure of the Constitution or exactly what it means now, but I mean, our point is we have no guarantees that our issues are going to be addressed. So we can't really speak to this. I hope you get what I'm saying.
I'm trying to. I mean, fundamentally, this committee that has been set up has been given a clear mandate to resolve the issues you already have, and they're going to meet to resolve it and reopen the school in 14 days. In total, they will have a 3-month period to bring the school back to a point of normalcy. So this is a clear decision made with the concerns you have in mind.
To court and send petitions to Otumfuose as well as the president of the land. And that is where our position still remains. Because in fact, there are no guarantees that whoever is coming in or whatever actions are being taken would reverse the situation in the hall.
I get you. I mean, I get the thing about the uncertainty with the future. You need to allow the committee to do its work and see what happens, because the mandate they've been given includes consulting broadly to see how this is resolved.
Of course. We remain very focused on that. But let me. While I was listening to the UTAG president, let me just make some quick reference. You see, it's very unfortunate that let me say, gentlemen or ladies of that caliber will be thinking along those lines, with reference being made to secondary school, consistently making referencing the university to secondary school. I mean, that alone should tell you that that's the problem we have as an institution or as a nation. You get what I'm saying? And I hope that, I'm glad he mentioned that they have an emergency meeting coming up. So I would hope that they would bring it up at the emergency meeting or ask themselves how come they remain silent all that while when, even if they didn't know for a fact, they might have heard with all the brutalities going on. But how come they should ask themselves? He
raises a fundamental question, and he asks the question, the fairness question. That is it fair to have the SRC president on this new, the interim management governing council, and not a rep of the management or the vice chancellor? You think it's fair?
Secondary schools, and he was consistent in his.
No, my question to you is about the fairness question. You think it's fair to have the SRC president on the governing council and not a rep from the management or the VC?
The SRC represents about 50,000 students. You get it?
Yeah, and what about the VC who represents the other half, which is the lecturers and the other managers?
The alumni wouldn't want to go. You are asking me this. That's how come I'm answering. But the alumni wouldn't want to go into who constitutes the governing council.
I'm asking a simple question about whether you think it's fair, whether it addresses the issue.
I'm telling you that it's justified that the SRC representing over 50,000 students has earned that seat.
Is it justified that there's no rep, he claims, from management or the VC on that council?
The alumni would have wished that everybody is represented. That's how come I stated from the beginning that, I mean, there are so many questions about this. But however, we remain focused on what we have pursued right from the beginning.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That is the Katanga Alumni Coordinating Team member, Nana J. Blackie. This obviously isn't ending now. Will join us on News 19 in just a little over 4 minutes, because there is more reaction to what we're just hearing. The Parliament Education Committee is wading into this. In fact, the members of Parliament also talking about this, demanding that students be arrested and prosecuted for the distraction that we've seen. We'll try again to see if we can get Education Minister to clarify some of the concerns and provide some answers to some of the concerns we've heard tonight from the University Teachers Association, who say that there is a SRC president on this governing council, but there's no rep from the management of the school or the vice chancellor on this, and they've already served notice that they will be resisting any attempt to remove the vice chancellor. Stay with us here on Joy 99.7 FM.
Born for Yankophobia Mudinokre.
I came to Bond because I wanted to expand my business.
Bond's intervention in our company has provided us with capital to grow our stock and also to expand.